Hello, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll show you I made this V-shape scrub neckline with chest detail. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already for more videos. Okay, now let's get started. I'll be using this at the red material with the ashoke. So that is what I'll be using for this tutorial. I folded my fabric into 4 for the front and the back. So I folded it by the length. So the first measurement I'll be taking is the length, because I want my dress to have a slit. So that was why I made it 42 inches. So I took the measurement on both ends, connect with a straight ruler, and I have it cut out. Okay, so now I'm done with that part. The next thing is to start placing the body of my measurement, taking the hip, the waist, and the bust circumference. So now for the armhole, I'll be using 10 inches. I'm using 10 because I don't want it to be so big. You can make yours 12 or 13, depends on how wide you want the armhole to be, because that is going to be the round sleeve, I mean. So I'm just going to be using the entire folding of this because it's about 20 inches. So but then you can take the measurement of this from the center of the neckline down to the sleeve length. So on that point of 10 inches, I'll be taking my bust measurement that I've already added my allowance to. I'll be using allowance of 3 inches. The bust is 34 divided by 4, then I'm adding extra 3 inches. You can add lower than 3, you can add more than 3. It really depends on you how big you want it. Then from there I'll be taking the hip line, which is 23. On the hip line, the hip is 39. So 39 divided by 4 gave me 9.5. Then I also added extra of 3 inches to that part. Okay, the measurement I took on the hip is what I'm going to be using at the gown mouth. Okay, at this point I'll just connect all the lines together. Like so. I'll just shape it in curve into the bust line. You don't want to have a straight line at that point. So I'm done with that. The next thing to go to now is the armhole, the neckline, I mean. For the neckline, I'm using 2.5 because I don't want to be too big, by 2 inches. I'm using a depth of 2 inches. Okay, this is going to cover for the front and the back. I'm just going to cut this all out. Okay, now that I'm done with the back, basically that's the back. For the front, I'll mark out 8 inches depth. That's the total neck. Then I'll go in by 1 inch. Just to watch the video for better understanding, I'll just connect with a straight ruler from the shoulder line to the new 1 inch I went in by. Okay, so you have something like a triangle kind of. So this is what I'll be cutting out, and mind you, do not cut it with the back, it's just applicable to the front. Okay, just cutting that out now. All right, so and I'll just shape out the sides. The pieces that is left from the side is what I'm going to be using for my pockets. For the pocket, I took 10 inches depth. Okay, you can make it 8, you can make it 9, whatever works for you, but 10 is just fine. So by 7 inches, 7 inches by 10. So also here the side, and I find the midpoint. The midpoint is just to give it a curve because I don't like the straight pocket. So just to give it that curve, that was why I look for the midpoint. And I'm just cutting that out. All right now, so the next thing is to measure the circumference of the neck. Okay, I'm just going to measure the circumference of the neckline. I had about 13. Okay, then I added extra 2 inches to that, so it will be long enough to go around the neckline. So I have this piece of ashoke. By the time I measured, it was way long, so it was fine. I just used the entire this thing. So I'm folding it into two, then I will press it. The entire length I needed is 2. So plus M allowance, I'm going to sew on the line of 2.5. Okay, so I've done that now. I sewed on the line of 2.5. This straight line you're seeing here, it's on 2.5 because I want it to be 2 at the end of the day after taking half in. I'm just going to cut open because the actual case itself was 3 inches. I'm just going to take out the extra pieces away from it like that. Okay, so now I have what I want. It's ironed already. I'm just going to bring out back the material. You're not going to start like this. You have to push it a little bit inside. They are sewing on that line. Okay, round, and you stop on the second line. Mind you, you're not going into that 1 inch. The 1 inch is now 2. You're not going into that part. You're just going to stop on that V line. Okay, now I'm done sewing it together. Okay, I've attached it and I've weaved it because you know Ashoke used to weave. I will notch it now to the last seam. To the last seam. You have to be careful at this point. Just notch to the last seam on both sides. And turn it inside. Okay, just turn it inside like this. Okay, make sure it's turned inside. You press it at this point as well. But if your fabric is what you can manipulate, you can just go ahead with it. Okay. So by the time you flip it inside, like I did there, you're going to see this allowance that you notched coming out. So all you just need is to sew down like that from one end to the other and cut off the excess. Then you have this. Okay, I've sewn it down already. I'll be weaving that part too so that it does not fray. And this is what I have. Let me put it on the mannequin. Now I have it on the mannequin. Okay, you can see what we have. You can leave it like this if you want, but that is not what I want. I am back on the table. For the chest effect, I'll be using a square of 10 by 10. So that's like a square 10 by 10. I don't like it like way too big, so that's why I'm using 10 by 10 for it. So it depends on what you want. I added extra half part there just in case. Then I'll just take 3. I took 3 by 3 here for that side shaping, which eventually I added extra to it. That is, it wasn't coming out the way I wanted, so I added extra. I used about 4 by 4 at the end. So now I'm done pressing it. Everything is looking flat. You can decide to style anyhow you want. You can leave it like this. You can sew it on top like this or place it at the middle. You can even decide to come a little bit below the scrub neckline like this. For me, I'll be placing mine on top at the midline. And I will just go ahead and pin them down now so that when I'm sewing, it's easy for me. Okay, so now I'm done pinning. I'll just take it to my machine and sew round on those edges. Okay, now the pocket. For the pocket, all I did was to sew with 1/2 inch round, left 1/2 inch at the edges. And for this one, I'm done stitching it all the way down, and like outfit is looking flat and nice. Okay, for the sleeve, I turned it over and sew down, and here for the body, I will measure 15 inches from the shoulder. I'll sew to that point and leave out 6.5 for my pocket and sew to where I want my slit to stop. Okay, I'm done doing that. I've sewn it, I've hemmed down the slit, and I've left my pocket space. You can see the lines. So I measure 15 from my shoulder, open it by 6.5. Okay, now the pocket, look at the way I'm opening it for better understanding. Just open it like I did here now. Then when you're done sewing it down, you just lock it down. Okay, I've done it. You can see I stitch it this way and I locked it down. So your pocket is going to be flat and nice. Okay, basically we are done with our dress. I hope you enjoy watching as I enjoy making it. Please subscribe to my channel, like my video, comment below for anything. See you in the next.